What's up, you guys? This is JYoungGoTo back with another video, and of course, if you already don't know, you know the news that has happened in the NBA recently with the Kyrie Irving trade. The Brooklyn Nets agreed to trade with Dallas for Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and a handful of draft picks. In exchange, the Mavericks get Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris. Now, as y'all know, for the Mavericks, this for them, in my opinion, is kind of a win-win situation, because at the end they aren't the ones that are losing. Now I'm going to talk about the Brooklyn Nets in a totally separate video, because we all know Kevin Durant and just all of that's definitely a lot. But looking at what this means for the Mavericks, of course, you know, this year upcoming free agency class, it's not the strongest free agency class, but the Mavericks have enough money that even if they don't re-sign Kyrie Irving on the team, that they can get a potential max player or just build a great roster around Luka, possibly, and be aggressive over free agency. So for them, really, in reality, it's kind of a win-win situation. Now let's take into the consideration now that they did trade away Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith, but the guy who I feel like was more important in this trade was, of course, Dorian Finney-Smith, because he was a 3-and-D player, and you know the Mavericks defense was already pretty mediocre. Defensive rating of ranking 24th in the entire NBA, and now you're taking away another one of your key guys that actually benefited your defense, which is gonna hurt. And we all know that, you know, Spencer Dinwiddie, he's pretty much when he was on the Brooklyn Nets, his first stint especially, he was a 20-point per game scorer, and this year I believe he averaged around 18 points a game for the Mavericks. But you know, replacing him with Kyrie Irving, that's a win-win. But of course, this is about the Mavericks, and the reason why they did this trade, as we all know, is because of Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic this season has, I believe, the 5th highest usage rate in NBA history. This guy has been having to carry the entire load for the Mavericks the entire NBA season, and this is why you see him put up the numbers he does on every single given night. You know, adding a guy like Kyrie Irving, you know, when Kyrie's on his best behavior, which we'll get more in depth with him in just a minute, I believe that he can definitely take a lot of pressure off of him. We all know that in clutch situations and moments that Kyrie Irving can also deliver as well in those moments when they need him to. So adding Kyrie Irving, especially in the offensive end, will definitely take off a lot of the load for Luka. But the question also remains, you know, even though Luka is, you know, a great playmaker, he can do pretty much everything on the basketball court except play the greatest defense. These two guys are both the ball dominant players. So the question that I really have is that how will Jason Kidd utilize them both on the offensive end? Because both of these guys, as I said before, they need the ball in their hands to dominate. And Kyrie Irving himself, you know, he's not a playmaker. He's not really a guy he's a scorer, and he's going to go out and try to get buckets. So it's really going to be interesting to see how that dynamic works and how he can make that work, because this season in reality, Jason Kidd has not really been doing the greatest, putting up the greatest lineups for the Mavericks to win games. Look, now of course we're talking about Kyrie Irving, and as we all know, Kyrie Irving was the one that requested a trade and the guy that wanted out of Brooklyn unexpectedly, as we all know, despite them, you know, being a really good team at one point and possibly a team that we talked about possibly going to the NBA Finals and all. Seems like he was buying into what they're doing, but he surprises us all, and yet again, boom, he requested a trade. He first requested a trade from Cleveland. Then he goes to Boston, says that he wants to be there for his entire NBA career and all of this and that. And it just ends up being a failure there, with him actually being the leader of the team on top of that and still failing to prove his point. And then after that, going to the Brooklyn Nets, you know, and getting Kevin Durant on his team and everything. And these two guys pairing up, we would see them, I remember in the All-Star games, them talking and this and that, just everything. And we see them also get James Harden in the team as well, and all that just doesn't work out. And then just this happens this season when things seem like they're going on the right direction. Kyrie Irving just fools us all yet again, and boom, just demands a trade. And now he's on the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know if he's going to demand a trade or not, but we all know as well that he won't be able to right now to sign a full max contract unless it's the offseason, or now he can only sign a 2-year deal with them as extensions. And really, when we look at Kyrie Irving in general, it's just the question really remains is that, you know, can this guy actually buy into what the Mavericks are doing? Can he be stable I mean, these are serious questions that we actually have to consider, because let's just not take into consideration that he just left a team that was pretty much going guaranteed making the playoffs and all. Now he's on this Mavericks team, and we don't know what he will bring to them. I don't know if he's going to cause possibly issues or this or that. I don't know. I hope that he buys into what they're doing and that they can hopefully re-sign him, and hopefully things to turn out good. This really, if anything, for the Mavericks is like an experiment to see if, this can work with them or not. All I know is on the defensive end, it's definitely a lot of questions that are going to have to be answered on that. But on the offensive end, I kind of expect, the pressure, especially for Luka, to drop off a bit. He's actually finally got that guy who's solidified himself as a real scorer on his team that can take off a lot of the load off of him. That guy was originally supposed to be Jalen Brunson and all that, but he left them and everything. But for the Mavericks, this for them is a possible win-win on both ends. Obviously, the losing aspect of it would be them losing Kyrie Irving for nothing, but also possibly, what if they don't resign? What if they don't get good players in the offseason if he doesn't resign with them? There's many questions that can still be answered for this. But I think as far as it goes for the Mavericks, I'm just really interested to see how this works. Mavericks are definitely showing that they're willing to do a lot and give up even their future assets just to make this team better for Luka. I mean, who wouldn't? This guy is a generational talented player. I know they don't want Luka to leave this team, of course, especially they have to prove that they're able to build an actual contending team around him, and hopefully that this experiment does work and that they can actually possibly do something if it does. We will have to see when the first game actually comes. But hey, man, that's all I really wanted to discuss today, man. Just the Mavericks now getting Kyrie Irving. It's crazy, and we'll definitely see how this mix definitely works for them. And all I have to say is, man, for the Brooklyn Nets, it's definitely a bit more sour and sweet in a way. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos each and every single week. Have a great day. Peace.